Hey everyone, it's day 22 of my 31 Days of Halloween special, and today we're going to be taking a look at the LEGO Minifigures Series 14 characters. Here's a look at the fold-out mini catalog of all 16 of the minifigures. Each minifigure also comes with a little black stand as well. Now let's go ahead and take a look at each figure. The first figure is the werewolf, and right out of the gate, I have to say that this is an outstanding minifigure. The figure is done in a light gray color and has a sinister smile. We can see that he's wearing a ripped up red and white flannel shirt. The figure also has a print for the arms and for the back of the shirt. The figure is also wearing some ripped up jeans. Finally, we can see that his name is Kel, and he comes with a bone as an accessory. Interestingly, there was a lumberjack figure with the same name produced for the Series 5 of the minifigures, so most likely this is his transformation. I really love the head design for this character and also the little tail on the back. This figure is also completely different from the werewolf figure from the Monster Fighter set. It's a different sculpt and of course also a different color. I really don't know which one I like best, but I'm glad that they are quite different. The next figure is the zombie pirate. The figure has a cool looking hat with a skull and crossbones. He has a traditional eye patch and also a gray beard. He is also sporting a red outfit with a cream color shirt, and we can also see a belt across his chest. The figure also has a silver hook and a peg for a right leg. His weapon is this giant sword. This figure is okay looking, and it's not really among my favorite, especially because I got multiples of this figure. However, it's not a bad looking figure, and if you're into pirates or zombies, then this is a good figure to add to your collection. An interesting note I found is that he appears to be a zombified version of the pirate captain from the Series 8 of minifigures. Up next is the crazy scientist. And this figure is quite funny looking, and it's somewhat reminiscent of the crazy scientist from the LEGO Monster Fighter series. This figure, however, has a giant head, and we can also see some googly eyes and a crazy smile. You can remove the top of the head and the glasses to reveal a goofy face, and we can see that there is no print on the back, but we do get some nice black sleeved gloves for the figure. He's wearing a lab coat with some magenta color splashes, and he carries around a small beaker with a magenta liquid. Interestingly, there is a fly image on the flask, so perhaps this is the scientist responsible for another figure we'll see later on. The evil looking witch is next, and I really like this character. I love the purple outfit she's wearing, the patches on the torso and on her hat, and I love her green colored face and the hairstyle for the figure. She also comes with a broomstick and a sad looking black cat. I love the hat and the hair, which is actually all one piece, and I also like her purple skirt and her white and black stockings underneath her skirt. I think LEGO did a wonderful job creating this minifigure, and she's definitely a great looking witch figure. And here's the plant monster. This is another fantastic looking minifigure, and apparently there is some debate as to whether this is a guy wearing a costume of a plant, or if this is actually a plant monster that has swallowed a frightened minifigure. I really like the head for the plant, which looks awesome and is done in a lime green color for the outside, and a pinkish color for the mouth and the tongue. We can also see some great details like the vines and thorns across the chest and legs of the figure. The figure also has some print on the back. Finally, we can also see the two vine pieces that the figure is holding in his hands. And here is the fly monster. This minifigure also looks fantastic and is somewhat based on the character from the 1958 movie The Fly. I love the headpiece for this figure and the giant red eyes. I also like his clawed hand and the transparent wings on his back. The torso of the figure also has a segmented print running through the middle, and we can also see some tiny dots signifying little hairs. Again, LEGO did a great job with this minifigure, and if you haven't seen the 1958 Fly movie, I highly recommend it if you are into classic horror creatures. The next figure is the Specter, and this is a happy, ghostly figure. The figure has a white face, which also happens to glow in the dark, even though it's a little bit faint. He has a great hood and torn cape, and the lower part of the body is done in a transparent gray and clear plastic, demonstrating his ghostly figure. He's also sporting a chain. According to the LEGO website, he's quite the prankster and loves to scare other figures just for fun. Next up is the zombie Cheerleader, and this is the second zombie figure we get in this series. I like that she has a missing tooth, and she also has a sheepish look on her face. The pompons are done in a white and green color, matching the color of her tattered uniform. I also like the C for Zombie University on her chest, and her pigtails are also nicely done. The zombie Cheerleader is somewhat reminiscent of the Cheerleader from the Series 1 line of minifigures. Our next figure is the Tiger Woman. I love the hairpiece, which looks fantastic from the front and the back, and I also like the two fluffy ears at the top. The tiger print can be seen all over her body, and the question is she a genuine Catwoman, or is this just a Halloween costume? Some people will say a costume because of the belt, but I'm not so sure. Anyway, she also comes with a whip as an accessory, and I also like the tailpiece, which is also nicely decorated with tiger stripes. And here is the Gargoyle. Even though the figure is done largely in a light gray color with some dark gray accents, I do like this figure quite a bit. I especially like the headpiece, which features some ram horns and pointy ears. Also, the dragon-like wings that go around his neck are really well executed. The paint details done on the face, the chest, and the arms really do make it seem as if the figure was made out of stone. I especially like the cracks on the head and the chest, as well as the expression on the figure's face. Our next figure is the Skeleton Guy, and this is a figure wearing a really cool looking skeleton costume. The main suit is done in black, while the bone details are done in white. I especially like the skull-shaped face mask, which is actually held on the face by a pair of strings to the sides. And I even like the little toes done in white. I like the cool details for the arms and legs done on the sides of the figure, and of course there is also some great print for the costume on the back of the figure. The figure comes with an accessory of a large orange bucket with a jack-o'-lantern design, and I'm sure he's hoping to get a lot of treats when he goes out trick-or-treating. The rocker monster figure is next, and this is an awesome looking Frankenstein creature with a rocker ensemble. I like the black t-shirt underneath the jean vest, and also the lock for a necklace. He's also sporting a black leather belt with studs, and blue jeans. This figure is largely reminiscent of the Monster Fighter's creature from the Crazy Scientist Lab. You can even remove the top of his head just like that figure. He even has a cool rock band patch on his back which reads Shock and Roll. The figure comes with a hot red electric guitar which sports a bat symbol for the pickguard. And here's a look at the third zombie figure for this series. This time it's a zombie businessman, and he's wearing a torn up blue business suit, and we can also see a light blue shirt with a white collar and a gray tie. He looks somewhat bemused and has a crack on his glasses. There is no print on the back of the figure, but he does come with two accessories. One is his black briefcase, and the second one is a newspaper called Zombie Times with the headline Brains, and it even has a cool picture of some brains on the front page. It's interesting that LEGO decided to produce 3 zombie minifigures for this series, but I guess that's just because they are still quite popular in comics and TV. And this figure is the Banshee. She has transparent black hair, and of course she's crying a lot, so we can see a lot of tears and a sad face. Her outfit is done in an olive green color with some gray colored accents for the chest and for the collar. She also has the same translucent bottom that the Specter figure is using, but this time it's done in an olive green color. The figure's skin is done in a nice pale blue color, and there is some detail on the back of the figure, but sadly no alternate face. Up next is the Bigfoot or Yeti figure, and he's done mainly using 2 tones of brown for the skin and fur. I especially like the grumpy expression on his face, and I also like the top part of the figure, which is sculpted in a way to denote the fur on the creature. I wish the figure has some more details for the arms and the legs. However, we can see some details on the toes for the bottom of this figure. The figure comes with a camera, which is a play on the myth of the Bigfoot creature. And finally, we have the Spider Lady. And this figure looks amazing. Easily one of my favorite figures from this series. I love the spiders and web accents on her dress, as well as the super cool transparent web cape and collar that she wears. The hairstyle is also very cool looking and somewhat reminiscent of Elvira, and it even features a silver spider on the left side of her head. The face paint for the eyeshadows, the red lipstick color on her lips, and the fangs on the figure are well executed, and they add a lot of character to the figure. She also comes with a giant red spider as an accessory. This figure bears a strong resemblance to the Vampire Bride figure from the Monster Fighter series, but it's still quite unique looking. In conclusion, I really like this minifigure theme, and I guess that my top 3 figures are the Spider Lady, the Plant Guy, and the Werewolf. The only average figure to me is the Zombie Pirate. The rest of the figures are all quite excellent. I hope you liked this video review, and put down in the comment section which figure is your favorite from this series. Also, come back tomorrow to check out another horror related review during my 31 Days of Halloween special. Until next time, take it easy.